Greetings and hello, Joe here from GoSkate. Today we are going to be talking about how to change some gear, in particular your bearings. We're going to look at what bearings are and how to change them. The method I'm going to do is obviously useful to take your bearings off and change them for new ones, but I'm going to demonstrate today how you can take bearings out of a pair of wheels and put the same bearings into another set of wheels, so you may not have to buy new bearings if you buy new wheels. And it's always good to save where we can. So let's have a look at what a bearing is, what it does, and how to change those things. So, here we have a wheel, a worn one, but a wheel as you would buy it. Right? There's the rubber side, the rubber outer ring, and then there's a pink core in the middle that's hard, and then nothing in between that. So what goes in the pink space, in that space in the middle, is a bearing. The most magnificent, one of the most magnificent inventions of humanity. Without the bearings, a wheel by itself as an invention isn't all that useful. So a bearing is what sits on the pink spot between the bolts there, and it is a cage with balls on the inside, ball bearings on the inside that roll around each other. And every wheel has 2 on each wheel, so there's 8 per set. And it means that your wheels will spin nicely. It means your wheels will spin nicely. Over time, the balls on the inside can wear themselves down, and you also pick up debris and detritus, stuff that gets in between the balls and makes it harder for them to roll around, eventually making you go slow. So it is then that we need to buy some new ones. Or your wheels break or some such, and you need to buy some new wheels, but you don't want to buy new bearings. Well, now we're going to look at how to change those out. Some methods that I have seen are instructing people to push the bearings out, which is a way, but there's a chance of damaging the inner ring of the bearing. So we're going to look at a method that uses tension and keeps the bearings safe so you can change them. Alrighty, so here we have a closer look. This is a wheel without a bearing in it. So you can see the pink bit real clear now, right? And you can even see where the bearing has sat in there. To show you up closer, this is a regular bearing consisting of the bearing cap, which is the red bit, stops things getting in from the outside. On the back, you can see the cage or the bearing brace, where it holds the balls in place while they spin. And then you have an inner ring and an outer ring. Now, what you should have between both of these, because one goes in this way and one goes in that way, is a spacer in between. The spacer in between helps keep the bearing from popping, which is where the axle pushes this middle ring out of the top ring and the whole thing falls apart. So the spacer distributes the weight on the inside. But it's very easy to lose them because they roll out of nowhere and each wheel has its own width. So you can get ones with inbuilt spacers like this. So you see it protrudes a bit on the inside. That will help keep the bearing for a longer time. On this one with the inbuilt spacer, you can see the bearings much more clearly. And when they spin, you can see the balls rolling. Rolling! Without that, the wheel would just grind on its axle, on the hanger. So there is a closer look at 2 types of bearings and a wheel without bearings in it. So let's get to the affected area. Okay, so here we have the affected area. An old wheel, well, it's actually pretty fresh still, but an old wheel that wants to be replaced with a new wheel. Ooh. With bearings in that we want to take out without destroying, damaging, or affecting in a negative way, so that you can reuse bearings. So firstly, obviously, you just want to unscrew this, clip it in, the smaller end. Just the washer, bolt, store them safely. Okay, now we pull them off. And you see, these bearings are still clean, good to roll. So, you definitely don't want to be pushing them out. right? The rings can be quite fragile, especially if you use something sharp. So, but we can use, there are two things you can use to do this, but it's pulling instead of pushing and using tension to get that pull. So you can use this, but I recommend using the actual hanger, the axle on the hanger. So you take the inside, you're just gonna put the bearing onto the truck, but just slightly. So if I show you with this, so you're gonna put it in just slightly so that it can hang, and then you use that tension. So you're going to pull down, and out she pops. And that way you're using the inside ring of the bearing, which is the part that is supposed to bear the weight, instead of pushing from behind the bearing, because the bearings aren't designed to take weight from left and right. The wheels sit on top on the outside, and it's the inside that can carry that weight. So you're just using the elements of the bearing. So you don't want to bash it out like that. You just hook it on a tiny wee bit, twist off. If it doesn't come out in one twist, then you'll want to twist it till it clicks, rotate the wheel, twist it till it clicks, rotate the wheel, and so on and so forth. So, part one done. Part two. So, this is the new wheel. Fresh new wheels. Yeah, shiny. Oh, very nice. Frequencies, very nice. Free rides, pre-washed. So, to do this, putting them on, you want to do it in reverse order. So you're going to start with the inside. The cap goes on the outside of the entire wheel. Each wheel has two bearings, so you can put it on slightly with your fingers, just so it's kind of tight. And you push it on, and then you just press into the middle of the board until the bearing is flush. See, there's no ring on the outside there. Sometimes they click, sometimes they don't. Then make sure the washer's on the end, which before, because once you do it this time, the second time, it will complete the loop. Same again, so on the inside of the wheel, so outside first, inside second, bearing cap on the outside, push it in a tiny wee bit, just so it catches, slide her on. There we go, she clicked that time. Perfect. See, so all bearings, and you can see the ring hasn't been damaged or affected. And they're all nice and flush. And you didn't even have to try that hard. So you just put that on, washer back on, bolt on, nut on, skate on. So you do it all the way until it stops, but then the wheel won't move. Then you pull it back a quarter, half turn. Fresh. Okay, now there's also a variation you can do. If you put the bearing onto the truck first, cap side, protected side, facing inwards towards the board, then you can put the wheel on after and clip it on that way, making sure it's flush. Another benefit, a reason why using the truck to help push the bearing on is useful is because this circle divides the pressure, so you're not pushing on any one point on the bearing, so it's an equal distribution of weight when you're putting it on. And you can do that with both sides. There we go, click. there we have board new wheels. Old wheels still sellable, still usable. Old bearings still riding. Alright, cool guys, check in next time. It's the Undead Rider. That was a quick tips on how to change your gear safely, protecting your stuff. I've been Joe. I hope that was helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe, and check out the website. That's goskate.uk. I've been Joe, your friendly neighborhood skate coach. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.